Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Welcome to the morning commute. It's Wednesday morning. What's today? August 27th. Wednesday, August 27th. It's about 5:30 in the morning. A little bit earlier than I normally commute, but not as early as I had really planned to commute today. Hope you all been doing good. I haven't posted in a while, and may not post this. We'll see what I ramble on about, if it feels important. Nothing feels important in this channel, but if it feels like something I care to share or not, I'll decide what I'm gonna do. But I've definitely been riding. If you've been following along at home, I have been having hip issues. I did end up getting a steroid shot in my right hip last week, so it's been just over a week now since I got it. And it has helped immensely. Right hip, like I rode, so I got it Monday, and then I was off about 2 days after I got it. I was off. I took a 5-day weekend. I had too much vacation time accrued, so I had to spend some time, and figured that would be a good time to test out the shot, even though it wouldn't necessarily have been at its full effect yet. And I have to say it went well. Pete and I went just for kind of a shakedown ride and camp on the north end of the Olympic Peninsula. Stayed at one of my favorite campgrounds, one I'm going to stay in a campground. And, you know, for me it was maybe a 200-mile trip. The focus was on getting there, camping, testing out the luggage on my bike, because I had never put the luggage on the bike, on this bike, and testing out my hip, and everything went well. I'll put a picture of the bike with the luggage on after I had set up camp, so not quite fully loaded, but 2 of the 3 bags of wax canvas gear that I got from Classic Rides in the UK. Phew, that guy's exhaust is stanky. Looks like an old Trans Am. What was I saying? Oh, the luggage. Yeah, I've got wax canvas bags, wax canvas panniers, and I also have a wax canvas duffel bag to go kind of across the seat behind me, which I did not take on the trip, so I didn't have enough. I didn't take on that camping trip, so I didn't really have enough need to put stuff in it, because I still am using the commuter top box, which spoils the whole aesthetic, but functional wise I can't ignore the benefit of that top box. Unfortunately, that's going to be one of those function over form items that I'm going to be using. However, the pannier bags worked wonderfully, and I think they look great, and they held up well on that trip. You know, I had my tent and clothes and some other supplies, sleeping bag and stuff that normally you'd take on a tent camping trip, and everything packed in nicely, and I couldn't even notice it, you know, as far as the load on the bike. So I've still got those bags on. They're empty, and just to, you know, shake them down a little bit longer, see if anything loosens up. The only complaint I have about the bags is the straps, the fastening straps to hold them on the bike are maybe an inch short. I wish they were an inch longer. Not that I can't make them work, just that it's hard to make them reach. You know, you've got the pannier rail. You're not really supposed to fasten a bag to the pannier rail, although you can, but they're not really supposed to be designed for that. This dumb truck, man. I wanted to go that way, but I don't want to be behind a double trailer logging truck. My goodness, look at that sucker. No thanks. It's not something I want to be behind in the morning when it's dark. Anyway, squirrel. That's been my only complaint. I actually had to change my pannier rails because the ones I had ones from Motone. I think it's Motone. Yeah, Motone. And they look great, but they stuck out. They like flared out from the bike. They didn't really follow the contour of the bike. And what that meant was that with the bags that I have, there was absolutely no way I was going to be able to make the straps reach, because they need to wrap around the frame under the seat, and there was absolutely no way that was going to work. So I actually bought the Triumph wax canvas pannier rails, right and left. A little bit more expensive than the Motones, but they're chrome, which I would have rather had black, but like the Motones that I had, but it is what it is. The Triumph ones don't feel as robust, but again, I'm not fastening the bag to the pannier rail. The pannier rail is mainly there to keep the bags from dangling into the wheel or the chain, and kind of a sideward support, not a downward support. Although it does provide some downward support, but anyway, they'll work fine, and they follow the contour of the bike a little better, so the back end of them doesn't look like it's flared out from the side of the bike, and the bags fit on there just fine. Again, I wish the little straps were an inch shorter. I'll probably leave that remark to the guy over at Classic Rides, but other than that, the bags look amazing on the bike, and I can't wait to use the duffel bag that goes with them. Just looks amazing, and they're easy to work with, and after you fill them once, they kind of hold their shape, so they don't look like they're all flat and flaccid after. If you leave them on the bike, they're not just flapping around back there. When they ship, they're packed down flat, and once you use them once, they kind of hold that open shape, which I didn't expect that. I was kind of worried about that, but they look nice. So back to the hip. The other thing I've been doing actually is going to the chiropractor, and I started that about a month before my shot. And you know, I'm a little skeptical, I'll be honest. I'm a little skeptical of chiropractic. I had never been to one before, but the one I'm going to had really good reviews, has been in my town forever, which in my little town, if you're not respected and not doing good business, you don't last long, because there's just not it's not a big town. So yeah, so I've been pleasantly surprised. I think, you know, I only got the shot in my right hip. I feel like my left hip and right hip had been doing a little better before, even after just 3 weeks. Had been doing a little bit better even before the shot. So the whole like my whole flexibility, like I couldn't do like deep squats. Like I used to be able to squat down onto my heels, and I haven't been able to do that for a long time. And I couldn't even get down to the point where I was beyond maybe 90 degrees of my knees, my thighs in relation to my calves, as far as bending down, squatting down. And even before the shot, I could start doing that without feeling like I was hitting a wall, like in my hip. And this is after like a year of, well, I did physical therapy for I want to say 4 months, and then I've been still doing a lot of those exercises for the rest of the year, and that helped some too. But you know, I've been doing stretches and things too, and it just hasn't improved. I felt like I kind of plateaued. And certainly after pardon me, certainly after having that bit of scare with the big pain that I had after riding this bike for like 3 or 4 days in a row on the commutes a few months ago, everything kind of went out to lunch, and that's when I made the decision to A, try the shot, and B, do something different like chiropractic. And yeah, so far pleasantly surprised, guys. I go 3 times a week, although the past couple weeks I've only been able to go twice. And other than the first 2 appointments, they've been really brief, just, you know, quick adjustments. You know, we have a very open conversation about how things are going. I feel like he listens to me, remembers things that, you know, when I go to another doc, although my general practitioner has been great, the whole experience has been good, and I feel like it's been helping. Like I said, I could start to squat down lower, not without pain, but still with way less pain than I had before, and way less limited motion. And after the shot, I can do that and not basically have 0 pain in my right hip and very limited pain in my left hip. And riding, you know, I'm not pain-free, but I'm certainly way less pain than I used to have. This light can fucking blow chunks. What the fuck? That guy's turning left, so I don't want to squeeze out there too far. Now maybe it'll let me go now, not him. So, I really kind of rambled on a bit there. I was getting distracted by a weird shit with the cars, but yeah. What does this mean? It means I can make my trip in September, which is coming up quick. I'm still getting like an MRI on the right hip. Well, I think I'm getting an MRI on both hips, just so they can see what's going on, and check the soft tissue. X-rays have looked okay as far as spacing, but X-rays don't show soft tissue. I have some sort of arthritis going on. It's definitely worse in the right hip as far as comfort level goes. But after that shot, my right hip is doing amazing. Like, that's temporary, but I'm hoping that with the lack of pain, that will mean that I can further stretch and exercise and maybe further counteract whatever atrophy and damage I've done with some surrounding, muscles and stretching improvement, and maybe come back better, so that even when the shot wears off in 2, 3 months, 4 months, whatever it's supposed to last, that I'll be in better shape than ever. And that's my hope. But before, there were certain things I couldn't do because they hurt, and they were still recommended exercise, but I could only do them in a limited way. Certain stretches I could only do in a limited way. Certain exercises I could only do in limited positions. And now I can do more, and hopefully target some of those muscle groups and target some of those areas that need to be stretched without pain, and I can strengthen those things that are meant to strengthen and stretch. So yeah, long story short, that stuff should be all good.